Our job is to protect and preserve treaty and Aboriginal rights. Our own people don't realize just the magnitude of sharing our knowledge online that is being used by people to use our knowledge to their benefit. What you're seeing is cultural appropriation of our customs and practices, our history and our culture. All those things are being attacked. When you think about data, we have to defend those rights.
As we move into a more technical age, it's just so important that we can preserve some of the teachings. It's so important to preserve that traditional knowledge. Ultimately, that we have ownership over that, and that it's not just being preserved by outside organizations or outside companies, that it's sovereign.
We talk about the data sovereignty and we look at the different political organizations around about that data and the misuse of such data. I saw it as an opportunity to really bridge the gap between the different business sectors, community sectors.
Data is a vital part of any business and in any community as well. Sovereignty for me is really allowing a community to take that control and possession of their information. And the hope is that information turns into electronic data so that it can be preserved for the long term in a safe and secure way.
People don't understand the ramifications of not having a good data policy or understanding what data sovereignty actually means to you in the community.
For us, data security was very important.
So we're looking to store that information for all the communities where they feel that and deem that it's secure.
Indigenous data sovereignty is super important for nations to make informed and empowered decisions when it comes to data, and more specifically, allow them to collect and disseminate data in ways that represent and reflect their worldviews. Historically, we've known that research projects involving Indigenous people have predominantly benefited the researcher or non-Indigenous people. By allowing and empowering Indigenous communities to collect their data, we're really shifting that narrative and letting them tell the story how they want it to be told and reflecting their worldviews and their culture and traditions throughout those stories.
I aim to use this platform to allow them to have their own voice. If they choose to talk about the business or choose to talk about their health of the community or the wellness of the community, then they can.
Most of our information and most of the information I learned from my elders has been passed on just by sitting around having tea and lunch with my elders. And that oral storytelling piece is so important to us. And that's what's lost when we try to fit the Indigenous worldview into the Western worldviews when it comes to data.
When I was a child, it was an expectation of our elders. We could not write anything down. The information we had to memorize. So this is very much a positive thing that we can store the information. This is a very good way of preserving our history and that we have a better way of recording what's needed for our future generations.
Inside of the community, just like a lot of organizations, there's the segregation of business units and the transparency of sharing information. What's the health group doing versus what's chief and council doing? And that information sharing, that data governance inside the community, that's where it has to start. We've created an avenue so that these communities can share their information with other departments that they need.
MAKWA7 has basically been teaching us what it means to have data sovereignty and what those tools are. They're bringing things to light that we never even knew.
We have to be very vigilant in understanding what the significance of data sovereignty is.
being able to not only manage their day-to-day data, but being able to reclaim what is theirs, bring that under their roof, and be able to store and manage that data in a safe and secure way, knowing that it's their data, they're in full control of it. I think that's incredibly important.
I want communities to be able to have their own voice. Use data to create this voice so that they can help their community flourish in a meaningful way and be able to trust the data, to be able to share the data with who they want, when they want. It's our story, and our story can only be told by our people and our communities.